to get used to. Yesterday, I was 27 minutes into a podcast, and I went to look to see how much time we were going, and the little timer wasn't there.
Oh,
And then I
no.
looked over and I clicked record, but I didn't click the confirmation. And I'm like, I am really sorry, but we're going to have to start.
Oh, no. That is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. But we made fun of it. You know, how long have you been on the department? 9 years? You know, I have ESP. Yeah. So anyway, but this is just to get you comfortable and, you know,
Oh, I feel good. Okay.
most of the time I record this too, but I didn't feel like embarrassing you.
Thank you.
Are you ready to totally embarrass yourself now?
I mean, let's do it. If I'm going to do it, I might as well do it.
Do it big.
Seriously.
Okay. How do you pronounce your first name?
Mayra.
Myra. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And your communications manager?
Assistant manager.
Assistant manager. Gotcha. All right. Let's do it.
There we go.
Hey, everyone. It's Fletch, Vice President of Public Safety at 911 Inform. Welcome to another episode of Off the Cuff Live, True Confessions of an ENP. Today, I have got a special treat for you. One of the funniest people I've talked to in a long, long time, Mira Mathis. She's an ENP, just got her ENP, and she's also the Assistant Communications Manager down in the weirdest place on the planet, Austin, Texas. Weirdest. Why do they call it Stay Weird Austin? What's up with that?
Listen, that is a valid way to describe this place.
I've been there. Trust me. I've been to Weird Austin. But why is it weird?
Everything about it is just so weird. You can't even put your finger on it because everything is weird. But, you know, it's so pretty. Like, it offers so many things. Like, any kind of lifestyle that you live, it's here.
Well, that's for sure. Because you go out after 10 and you can pretty much find whatever you want on the streets.
This is a true statement.
Yes, it is. So now I did the last time I was down there. I did the one of the haunted tours.
Oh, I haven't done that.
Yeah, that was pretty spooky. That was the weird of the weird.
Yes.
So how long have you been in public safety, taking care of the lives of the innocent citizens of Austin?
So I have been in 21 years total. I've been in Austin for the last 4.
Wow. 21 years.
Yes, I know.
There's another one that started dispatching when you were 6.
Yeah, 6.5, maybe. If I got all the gray hairs to prove it.
Yeah, I see that. I'm getting them. I'm getting them right here, which is driving me nuts because I can't hide that.
Yeah.
So what made you go for your ENP?
You know, I am always about bettering myself. I feel like when I have the knowledge that I could speak to, because I know there's curious people out there, right? And to be able to explain to them the why, the what, why some of the things are happening, what's happening, that's very important in the industry that we're in, right? You know, I grew up where we just kind of went with the flow. We just, you know, you did what you did because that's what you had to do. And people are built different these days. They want to know the why, the what, the who, the how, and so I wanted to have that. I wanted to have that knowledge. I wanted to be able to contribute to the conversations. I wanted to be relevant to understanding of how each process worked. And so I went for it. I heard about it. I took my CMCP in 2019. And that's where the bug got put in my ear about ENP. And then.
Who did your CMCP instruction?
Ty Wooten.
Ty, baby.
He's everywhere. Yeah. He's everywhere.
Ty is the man. I've known Ty for a gazillion years. And he's got the best stories. And, you know, he did a great job teaching that class. He got that whole program started.
Oh, wow.
And he did
a great job.
Yeah, yeah. So he's one of the first people that I really got to know when I took my ENP and got involved with Nina. He was one of the first people that they hung out with. Mm. But so you're satisfied with the knowledge that you gained, I take it?
I did. I am, and I'm excited to share it. I've already started putting that bug in other people's ear about taking this test. We have a acting assistant manager, and she's hungry, right? She wants to know more. She wants to understand the ins and outs. And so I took my, when I was studying for the ENP, I went through Tracy.
Okay.
We are on the same.
Another useless human being.
No. When she was talking,
she's like a sister to me. I love Tracy.
We spoke the same language. Like when I'm watching her and watching her live or watching her on the videos, like everything she was saying, I was like, she is speaking my language. Like I can get down with her. I like some of the things that she put on it, on, how she processed it, and it helped me remember it a lot easier. But she was awesome. She was awesome. Best study group. I mean, I only watched hers, but it helped me learn. And my notes, I still have my book, but my notes, I mean, I was the note taker. I was the scratch book, everything.
What did you think of the ENP manual? Because that went through a major rewrite with all new graphics and everything in there.
So
you could be honest.
No, I'm probably the most honest person you're going to meet.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. So lie through your teeth and tell me how good it was.
No, actually, it was really good. What I will say, it was good. It has a lot of knowledge. I liked being able to read it, and then I could go in and Google. I think one of the challenges for me was the additional documents that I had to go find. Yep. Because the link was typed in there.
Yes.
I mean, we're all about things being quick and easy, but not being able to click on those links to...
I'll tell you what, you come up with a way where I can click on a piece of paper and then go to the web. I will get the money to back you 100% in that idea.
It's possible somewhere, right? So,
well, I think... But we actually had this discussion on one of the Institute board meetings not too long ago, printing QR codes.
That would be...
Yeah, right here, baby.
Yeah, I told you there's a way.
Yeah.
So if there was anything that I could change, that would be it. But the book was great. It's a lot. It's a lot. When you don't know everything, it's a lot to absorb.
Yep.
And it didn't help that I was getting married, graduating from college. There's other things in my life that were going on during this time, but I did it. So if I can do it, everybody else can do it. But man, it was the technology that was a struggle for me. There was no part of it that I was a perfectionist at, but the technology part was my hardest part. But it was very interesting. Like once I started, going through the study group, Googling some of the things, looking at videos of what things were, it started to make sense, right? And so for the test, I took the practice test. So I studied, I took the practice test, and then when I took the practice test, I was like, I don't know if I learned anything because I didn't feel like I knew anything when I took the practice test. So I went back into the book and studied and studied and studied and made more.
Did you pass the practice test?
I did.
Okay, good.
I did. It was very close.
That's all right. People say, oh, I got a 107. You know what? It doesn't matter. 105 is passing, and that's the minimum that you need to know. It's not the worst. It's just the minimum that you need to know.
I want to say I got a 111, but I passed, and
that's all that matters.
It was just making sure that if there was anything I could tell anybody about taking this test, it's knowing it and understanding how to apply it, right? It's different than just knowing it. Like, I know this definition, I know what that means. It's about applying it and being able to, if this happened in your PSEP, what is this, right? Like, what does this mean? So I appreciate that, because that's what I needed to know. That is what's going to make me helpful to my staff, is being able to understand the who, what, where, when, why, or how things are presenting themselves and what that means. And so I'm excited to apply it. Sometimes I've already been in some conversation and meetings of, they're talking about, I mean, we know about the next gen, but like gateways and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, this is me. I know all about this. Ask me. So
Have you gotten any recognition for your ENP yet? Because I know you don't put the letters after your name because I had to do it for you today. But you're going to fix that now, right?
I did put it on my signature, and I've had a couple people like, "What's the EMP?" And that's kind of started some of the. I mean, because APD is so big, but yes, my bosses put it out. The chiefs are aware, and they've congratulated me. I am the first one at Austin PD to have it.
Wow.
So now it's cultivating a culture like, hey, this is something we all need to do, right? Let's study together. Let's, keep the knowledge up, and let's get more people certified so that it is something that's of the norm, and I know for me as an assistant manager, when I have looked at other positions around here for whatever reason, they are starting to require an EMP to be a manager somewhere else. So
Well, that's, you know what? I've seen that requirement. You have to have it to be a manager. And if they don't say you have to have it, you have to be able to get it within X amount of 6 months, a year, and maintain it. And that's great. I
yeah,
mean, you should. And you know what? CMCP is just as important, especially in a position like yours, because you're the pocket knife down there, the Swiss Army knife. You do everything from our conversation before this.
I stay pretty busy. Yes, I do.
I mean, I think we spent 20 minutes listing all the things that you
Stop.
do.
We did not.
That was at least 20 minutes. And I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this. And I'm like, doesn't anybody else work in Austin?
They all work. Everybody works. There's so many.
Mayra does everything down there. Surprised you didn't have to go out on an EMS run while you were talking to me. Hang on, be right back.
Oh, I do stay busy. I feel like there's a lot to be done, and I want it to be the best for everything, right? I want us to be relevant to the situation. I would hate for decisions to be made around us that we're not part of that conversation.
Yep.
And so if it's me, then it's me, right? I want to make sure that we're in that conversation and doing the best for our staff.
You still back fill in on the desk once in a while?
No, not here, not at Austin. But I kind of filter in for the supervisors. So the supervisors aren't actually working a console or a radio. They kind of fill in the phones and supervise because there's so many people to supervise. So
How many call takers do you have on a shift?
So that can vary. It changes hour to hour, but on day shift, I am supposed to have around 60.
Wow.
And so 60 total. So we have call takers and we have dispatchers, and they do their functions separately. And so, but we do have some staffing issues right now, but we are working through that, and there's a lot of people working in the background to make it better. And I hope, and I believe that there's going to be some more positive changes for our staff.
Where are you guys with Next Gen?
We do have Next Gen. We do not have it all turned on. The videos and the photos and stuff like that, I don't know if that's something we're willing to take on right now with the challenges it could have on our staff. And but we do have it all.
That's one thing that's really interesting. And I was actually talking to a PhD from Toronto, Burrs is her last name. I can't remember her first name. I think it's Alicia Burrs. But she's actually done 2 papers, and she's working on her 3rd that is looking at the social impact or sociological impact, psychological impact of trauma calls on call takers. And she's actually worked with call takers up in Canada on exposing them to that, and then writing a paper on what the impact is. Of course, that's just short term. And I think the scary part is we don't know what the long term is until the long term happens, right?
So do we know anything that she's found so far?
I have a couple of papers from her. I haven't really dug through and read through them in detail because these are PhD theses. They're not easy reads, and they're long. So, but they're chock full of data. I'm actually going to get her on a podcast.
Oh, cool!
But
I'll watch that one.
I gotta do a couple weeks worth of reading before I even take her on, because I'm just gonna be like
You better get on it because I'm waiting for that one now.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll send you the white papers though.
No, thank you. I'll wait for you to regurgitate it.
They're published, So, but yeah, I'm really interested. I got hooked up with her through another contact that does a public safety stuff up in Canada, and she says, "Oh, you got to talk to this woman. She's amazing." And I called her, and she was very open and very excited about talking about what she's doing. So she says she's got some very valuable data in her first
Ooh,
two
nice.
papers, and
I'll be interested to see about that.
yeah, I'm interested to see as well, because again, I don't know how you can measure the long-term impact when it hasn't happened long term.
Well, and even the short term is it better to see it? Because then you have actual answers, and is it not? I mean, I
You know
don't know.
what?
Sometimes your mind takes you.
Everybody I talk to has got their own opinion on it.
Yeah.
I look at it this way. If it's something where I think I might find value in the data, then great. I'll choose to look at it. But don't throw it in front of me just randomly.
Yeah.
Because I still remember one of the most horrific scenes. I'm out on patrol with a partner, and we get a call of a domestic with weapons in the house. And we get to the residence, front door's ajar, call out, nobody's answering. We go in the house, and right there on the wall, I can see it like it was, this is 40 years ago, but I can see it like it was yesterday. There is just splattered mess all over the wall.
Mm.
Guns are out. We're calling for whoever. She's back in the bedroom. She says, he left. She's all right. What's on the wall? I threw a can of dog food at him. I don't know what it would look like when somebody took a shotgun hit, but I can tell you that it probably looks a lot like dog food thrown at a wall, wet dog food.
Holy cow.
But we were like, oh my God, this is going to be a mess. Where's the body?
Oh, I'm glad. I don't want to see it. I just want, I mean, I don't think it's great that my mind can make it up, but then I just rather not see it.
But I think, tell you, oh, there's a fire. How big is the fire? I don't know. Let me show you a picture. That's valuable. I saw technology from a company. I don't know if they ever did anything with this. This was way back at Avaya, but what they had was they could take video of a cell phone or even a still picture, because the metadata was embedded in the picture, that gave you the direction that the photo was taken in, the compass direction. So if you had two pictures of smoke out on the horizon, you could triangulate it from those two pictures based on the metadata of which way the camera was pointed. And you could pretty much pinpoint within a couple of 100 feet of the source of that distant fire.
Wow.
It could be 20 miles in the distance.
Wow.
And it's the same technology that the Forest Fire Service uses up here. They're up in the towers with telescopes. Yep, I see it at this compass reading. I see it at this one where the two lines cross. That's where it is. It's basic, simple trilateration. It's the same thing they do with cell phones, except cell phone signals aren't as accurate in how they calculate the direction.
Interesting.
Yeah, see that? I'm telling you.
All that knowledge in there.
It's just screaming to get out. Nobody will listen to it, though.
I'm going to listen. I'm here to listen.
So what advice do you have for somebody thinking about getting their ENP? What's the Mayra recommendation?
My recommendation would be do the study group. I did Tracy Tracy Eldridge, and she was awesome. She spoke
No,
my
no,
language.
she's not. She's not.
She is.
She's not
She
awesome.
is.
She's not awesome.
And
Don't
take the
tell her that.
practice test.
Don't tell
And
her.
then I'm going to tell her. I'm going to email her when we're done here and tell her how awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
And tell her what a hard time Fletcher was giving her, and she'll go, yeah, that, and what else is new, you know.
And I felt like, she talked a lot about you during our class, and I'm like,
that's why I do this to her.
I'm like, who's this Fletcher guy? I've got to be this Fletcher guy.
Paybacks.
But she did so good. She spoke my language. So my recommendation would be study group, study, take the test, study. It's so hard. It's such a hard test, and you helped make it.
Yeah, I did.
Why did you do that?
That's the that's the funnest part of being on the NEMA Institute board.
So hard.
I love it. I love it.
It's so hard that it's good, because it does make you apply what you learned, and not just in the aspect of the definition. It was applying it to almost a real life scenario, the isolation, the, what's going to present itself to a call taker if this is the system that's down, so all that stuff is so relevant to what we're doing right now and in the moment, that y'all did a hand clap, because that test was hard and it was good.
See, that's what I tell people. We sit down once a year and come up with the new test forms for the following year. And there's two test forms, an A test and a B test. And you get one or the other by the luck of the draw. So no two people, you aren't guaranteed to have the exact same test as somebody in the class with you. And it'll be one of the two, and the questions will be in a different order on each instance. So you can't say, what's the answer to number 7? Because it might be number 30 or 150.
So I read the question. So I started at the top, and I'm going through the questions, and I'm like, oh, I don't know that one. Let me skip that one. Let me go to the next one. Oh, don't know that one. So I was like, I'm going to start at the bottom to give me a little bit of confidence. Maybe I'll know something or be able to apply. And so I started at the bottom and I worked my way up.
That's interesting.
As I started going through the questions, I was like, okay, I'm pretty confident about this. I'm pretty confident. And then it kind of, you're nervous, right? Like, the test is hard.
See, I take the test the same way. I like that model, because what you'll find is as you're skipping the questions that you don't know right off the bat, and you're answering the ones that you do, number one, you're shortening the test.
Yeah.
Right? And number two, what you're gonna do is you might stumble across something else in a question that will answer a previous question that you didn't really think about a certain way.
Yep.
So you got plenty of time to do 150 questions. You blow through, answer everything you know. Now you're left with 100 questions, or maybe 50, or maybe 75, whatever. You've cut your test significantly.
Yeah.
Now you go back and do all the ones that you have to think a little bit on. And then again, if it's really tough and you got to think about it, skip it again.
Yeah, you have time, right?
You have time.
So, that 3-hour block, when I first started, I was like, there's no way I'm going to finish this in 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And as I went through the questions, and then I went through the questions, and then went through however many times I needed to, like, I had time. If time is a worry for you, don't worry. 3 hours was plenty.
Oh, yeah.
So I went into the testing center, and so they you could put the little earbuds on over your head and sit in the testing center. So that was even nerve-wracking, because I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on around me. But it was plenty of time. And I don't know how it is for everybody else, but you can mark. You can, mark saying, hey, you need to come back to this one.
Yep.
And so if that's the same for everybody, for me, it was great. It was, kind of held that marker for me. So I didn't have to remember to go back to that one, but.
Yep. Well, Professional Testing Corporation is the company that we contract to administer those tests, and they do an unbelievable job. They provide the testing centers to actually deliver those tests. You could never afford to do that on your own, just for your own test. And they do like the FAA pilots tests. They do a lot of the medical certifications. My daughter is a surgical dental assistant, and she actually went to PTC for some of her certifications as well. She's like, Dad, I went to this really cool place. I'm like, yeah, PTC? Yeah. God, you know everything. Yeah, that's right, baby. That's because I'm your father.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it when I can get it.
Well, I almost had, so the lady who was checking me in, it was very easy to get into, the whole process of showing your ID, all that. I mean, everybody was super nice there. And the lady who checked me in, she was like, hey, what is the ENP? And we were talking about it. I'm like, it's this hard test. I'm being all dramatic in there. And so then she was like, so what is it for? And, what do you do? And so we started talking about that. And I'm pretty sure I have her convinced to apply for our center. But she was like, does everybody have to take this test? I'm like, no, but, we want people to take, like, this is a step for us to start taking this as a department. I mean, it's so beneficial, just the knowledge and seeing the progression and where we're going is it should be intriguing for everybody who wants to stay in this profession, right? To know the ins and outs of how everything comes in, how everything's processed, how to deal with people if that's not your thing. The laws, I aced the laws, the legislature, that I aced that, which shocked me because I thought I was going to struggle with that, but it kind of developed a new growth in me. Like, I want to know more about the legislature and things that we can contribute for making us better, making this profession better, making it recognized and bringing awareness to it. Right. So I know you were part of the Ray Bonds Act.
Carrie's Law and Ray Bond.
Yep. And
Hank Hunt is from Austin.
I didn't know that.
Yes, originally from Austin. Matter of fact, Kelly Merriweather, who runs CSEC in Austin.
Okay.
I'm down there with Hank, and we're doing, this is years and years ago, probably 10 years ago, when we were first testifying in Austin at CSEC. And it turns out that Hank and Kelly Merriweather went to high school together.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's such a small freaking world in public safety. It's unbelievable.
But just making us recognize, right? We're not admins, not close to it, anywhere close, but being able to impact our profession for the whole world. I mean, that is life-changing for a lot of people, what you guys did. And so, I feel like maybe that has been a seed that was planted in me of, I was talking to somebody the other day at our I don't know if you've heard of CapCog. They're like our regional.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I was talking to somebody over there because I think I do know some of them are part of NINA, and I'm like, how did you get in that? What do you do? Like, how can I help? Like, and so I feel like that has sparked something else in me, but that has yet to been explored.
So look, you know what? You've got I don't even know what to call it, the chutzpah, the drive, the passion to be a public safety leader in NINA and, in public safety at a much larger level than your department, still being at your department, not talking about leaving your department, but just talking about being a NINA volunteer, getting involved in the programs, being an instructor. There's so many things that you can do to expand. You got your CMCP, you got your ENP, you're well on your way.
Good. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing some avenues and, what are some next steps, right? How do you even get involved in that process? So I'll probably be talking to you later.
You could start a whole new chapter, Weird 911 from Austin.
Oh, that's so funny.
Taught by a hippo.
Yes, by hippos. I love hippos.
So I just did a podcast the other day with Chief Yarborough from Hutto Police Department, and it came out just before when we were talking. That's where you're from as well.
I am. let me tell you guys, Hutto is a place to be. And, my kids are in the school, so it is nice. So our mascot is a hippo. And there's a story behind the hippo. We do have a busy train track that goes through there. And the story behind it is that a circus came through, all the animals, like it broke down, all the animals got off the train and ran all over the city of Hutto. And they never found the hippo. And so every school in Hutto, mascot's hippo. Everybody's obsessed with hippos. There's hippos in people's yards. There's hippos in front of businesses. I have a hippo on my bracelet. I mean, everybody's obsessed with hippos. That if you live in Hutto, you're a hippo.
Myra, look, I'm not sure if your parents explained it to you or not, but you need more than one hippo to make more hippos.
I have two hippos.
When two hippos love each other very, very much, they go off and make little hippos.
They make baby hippos.
They make baby hippos.
No.
Because you said one hippo escaped.
Well, I think there was more. I'm sure the circus has two, but the hippos escaped and they never made it back. And so that's how we have the Hutto hippos. And
I wish I knew that yesterday, because I could have asked the chief about
you should call him back.
I'm going to call him back.
Is there an obsession with hippos? I even wonder if every business has to have one, because every business has one. Every business has a hippo, and it's painted. They paint them. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Businesses just now have to be Carrie's Law Ray Bombs compliant for 911, but you have to have a hippo.
You have to have a hippo. And even in front of Dairy Queen, there's 4 hippos, the mama, the daddy, and a couple baby hippos, and they're all painted Dairy Queen.
See, that's how it works. Mommy hippo, daddy hippo,
yes,
baby hippos.
The fire department has a hippo, and it has a fire hat on it. Everybody has a hippo.
Where's yours? Well, you got one. You got one on your bracelet.
I'm going to send you a picture of a hippo.
All right. You do that. Well, listen, I think you're going places in the industry. Certainly, I can see that you are the lifeblood of APD.
That's sweet.
Probably, people are going, oh yeah, Mayra keeps his place going.
I'm sure I drive my boss crazy, but it's all in good intention.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, all I can say is keep it weird.
We will.
That's the Austin way. And thanks so much for sitting down with me. This has been an absolute pleasure. I've learned a lot on this episode.
Me too.
It's very educational. Some things you learned you will not repeat.
Yes, I will not.
That was not on the podcast.
I will not say.
The best part of the podcast is not recorded.
Oh my God. I cannot unhear any of those things.
No, you can't, unfortunately. But I can't unlive them either. So, you've heard it, but I got to live with it.
It was fun. It was awesome.
Always is. Hey, listen, thanks again for stopping by and joining us. I'm sure you'll inspire many others to take the test. And I'm sure you did quite well, even though your study group was probably marginal at best. But
Stop. I'm going to email her.
She knows. She expects it. Trust me. I will pay dearly for this. Trust me.
Good.
She's got pictures of me that I don't even know how she got. And they all of a sudden they end up on Facebook.
Hey, we know how to do our research. We didn't get in comms for no reason.
Yeah, no kidding. Unbelievable. Well, look, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's all I can say over and over again. Look forward to where your career goes. And anytime you want to check back in, just let me know. Love to have you on. We're starting a whole series, beyond Off the Cuff.
Okay.
So, people that I've talked to, see where they are a year later.
Well, yeah, let me know.
I'm going to start doing that. So you'll be on that list.
Yay.
Yay. All right. Have a good one. Thanks again for stopping by. All right.
See you later.
All right. That was great.
Yay.
Nice job. You are fun to talk to. I'll tell you that.
This